Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Golden Nova's First Reacts, the show where I react first to all the things that you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you go to react to things. Raiseols have been unveiled from the next deck build pack crossover breakers. I'm always excited for these sets because they're very concentrated checks at new mechanics that the designers want to explore. So they do little blurbs beforehand that show what the thematic stuff is for it, but I forget any of that stuff. So I'm going in here with no expectations, except for the fact that this guy looks awesome. I want this mech suit. I'm also going to try and keep things a little on the down low. It's pretty late on my end. Alright, first up we have Sword Raiseol, level 4 Fire Thunder. We're going to keep seeing a lot of Fire Thunders. Very interesting typing here. You can use the second effect of this card once per turn. If a Raiseol monster is on your field or in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except rank 4 Xyz monsters. You can only special summon copies of this card once per turn this way. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a light Pyro monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, so they're not all going to be Fire Thunders. We're also doing light Pyro. Oh my god, more Pyro stuff. They really went on all in on this. This is outrageous. Free level 4 monster. You are exclusively only allowed to use the rank 4 toolbox after this. Very funny. Hey Moby, how's it going? Okay, Nord Raiseol. Level 4 Fire Thunder. You can only use the second effect of this card once per turn. This seems to have a similar effect, but instead of checking for a Raiseol monster, Nord checks to see if an Xyz monster is on your field or in your graveyard. Yeah, other than that, it's the same effect. You can send a card from your hand or field to the graveyard to target a Raiseol monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position, but its effects are negated, so we're not going to be able to summon a Sword Raiseol from the graveyard and get the light Pyro search. The second effect is a hard once per turn. First effect has the, you can only special summon it once per turn that way. It looks like these are inherent summons, so these aren't activated summons, which is why it's worded like this particularly, which is good. Inherent summons are usually better than activated ones because there's less interruption going on in that way. Okay, Ice Raiseol. Light Pyro. Ice? Pyro? Something's not lining up here. You can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. Also, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except rank 4 monsters. Okay, so just a different way of getting that free summon. But if this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a Raiseol monster from your deck, so maybe you don't want to special summon it. If you have multiples in hand, I guess this gives you an option to summon both of them. And if you have multiple normal summons, you can just special summon this instead if the other one is more impactful. But special summoning any of these Raiseols directly from the deck seems pretty fantastic, right? Like, normal Raiseol, special summon the Sword Raiseol, and then you get another search of a Light Pyro. Oh heck, that could just be the other Ice Raiseol that you pitch a card to special summon. Very funny. X Raiseol. Yuck. Yuck. Light Pyro, level 4... You can send an Xyz monster from your extra deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. Ooh, okay. Things that send directly from the extra deck. Now, Xyz are the most tame when it comes to graveyard effects, I feel like. The only one that I can think of off the top of my head is the, it's like that Cybers one. I think it's a rank 9. It, like, negates a card when it's sent to the graveyard. That's still pretty good. So it's good to have that on hand as part of a free summon. If this card is normal or special summoned, and you control no face-up monsters except level and or rank 4 monsters, you can add a Fire Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so X Raiseol, if these conditions are met, can search you Sword Raiseol, and then Sword Raiseol searches you out this card or either of your other level 4 light Pyro monsters. Oh joy. Okay, Parma Ral, level 4 Fire Thunder monster. 1200 attack, 2400 defense. I haven't been checking the stat lines on these, actually. 500, 17, 14. These are okay. Some of them are better at defense, some of them are a little better at offense, but none of them are particularly super strong in that regard. But that makes sense. These, I believe, should be treated more as material for other summons as opposed to being bodies for battling. Okay, so Parma Raiseol it can be normal summoned, must first be special summoned by shuffling a Raiseol monster from your hand or grave into the deck or extra deck. Seems pretty easy with all of our sending cards to graveyard for our special summons. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except rank 4 monsters. Actually is a lot more forgiving than the applied effect. It's kind of like the Sword Soul tokens. Once you get this off the field, you don't have to worry about only summoning rank 4 monsters. Once per turn during damage calculation involving this card and your opponent's monster, you can send a level 4 monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster's attack. I have to assume it's talking about gaining the attack of the sent monster, so it sends any level 4 monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Oh, that's actually kind of goofy. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff, both on theme and off theme, that you can access with that. Raiseol Duo Drive. Rank 4 Fire Thunder Xyz, 2+ level 4 monsters. You can only use each of the first and third effect of this card once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can attach a Raiseol monster from your graveyard to this card as material. It's 2+, so I assume more materials is better for it. Monsters you control gain 100 attack for each material attached to this card. Also your monsters your opponent controls. That might be a typo. I have to assume it's monsters your opponent controls lose that same amount of attack, which does make it kind of like the Sword Soul Sovereign Chung Ying, which I think is actually a pretty baller effect, even at 100 attack per instance. Like, if this thing has 2 materials on it, yeah, it's only 200 gain for your team and a 200 decrease for your opponent, but a 400 point swing is not nothing. Third effect, during your main phase, you can detach 2 material from your field, and if you do, add 2 Raiseol cards with different names from your deck to your hand. Oh, okay, that's filthy. You make this with any 2, and let's be real here. We lived through Zexal. Also lived through... Moby's going wild over here, folks. Whenever he lays down and his tail goes wild, ain't nothing sticking on that table. Anyway, we've lived through Zexal. We know a thing or two about level 4, rank 4 extenders. This thing seems outrageously easy to get on board, and then you can convert that into any 2 different Raiseols who themselves are easy to summon that get you more advantage. This middle effect here is like a nice addition in case you're trying to set up an offensive push, but everything else about this feels like the more important part. And I mean, if anything, you make this with 2 material, you could attach a third one with this effect. Even if you detach 2 to get that double search, you're still looking at 100 point buff debuff, so very, very good card to have on hand. Holy cow. Raiseol Dead Nator. That's a great name. Dead Nator. Rank 4 light pyro effect monster requiring 2 or plus level 4 Raiseol monsters. So this one is on theme. 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Very nice stat line. If this card is special summoned, you can attach a monster from your graveyard to this card as material. Any monster. When your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you can detach a material from this card, then target a card on the field and to destroy it. Now that, the first and third effect of this card can only be activated once per turn. If this is correct, this means the second effect can be activated as many times per turn as it will allow. So anytime they activate a card or effect, detach a material, target a card on the field, destroy it. That's goofy. That's goofy. You have base 2 materials on there. Your opponent's going to activate more than 2 cards. If they're only activating 1 card, if they're activating no cards, you're in the clear. You get to just blast 2 things. That's outrageous. If any number of monsters you control would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can detach a material from this card. So it's not totally Dingirsu, because I think, did Dingirsu protect things other than monsters? I forget, but it's also just kind of Dingirsu too. And it's 2+, so the more Raiseols you get on board, the more you put under this, the more that it can do. And then it'll get +1 more than any of that because it just reattaches a monster from the grave as material. Really? Wow. Okay. This is looking really, really solid. Raiseol Plugin, quick play spell card. Target an Xyz monster or Raiseol monster in your graveyard or banishment. Special summon it, then you can attach a Raiseol card from your deck to a rank 4 monster you control. Also, you cannot attack for the rest of the turn except with rank 4 monsters. Okay, yeah, so it just gets... This first part does not say rank 4 in it. The second part says that, you know, you can only attack with rank 4 monsters, but you can summon back any Xyz monster or Raiseol from grave or banishment. Pretty good places to get monsters back from. And then you get to recharge a rank 4 that you have. If you summon back a rank 4, you make sure it has a material. Last one, Raiseol Hole Thruster. Oop, more folks. I didn't know we were adding Trap Trick support to the deck build pack, but Raiseol Hole Thruster, normal trap card. You can only use each of the first and second effect of this card once per turn. Target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Raiseol Xyz monsters that you control. Destroy them, then you can attach a Raiseol card from your graveyard to a rank 4 monster that you control. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon using monsters you control, including a Raiseol. It doesn't have to be all Raiseols, as long as a Raiseol is part of the process. You get to Xyz summon with it. Wow. Yeah, wow, I'm floored. This archetype is actually really, really good. Now, it doesn't seem very... What is it? It's very good at what it does. It's very specialized. It will convert... Oop. Hey, buddy. That's Moby again, messing with the box, messing with the mic. So this deck feels very geared towards what it wants to do. It's highly specialized in making rank 4s, and there are a ton of options that you can go into in a deck like this. The monsters themselves are very easy to deploy. A lot of them have really easy to utilize summon conditions, some more than others, though Ice Raiseol is probably the most expensive because it requires you to actually send a card from your hand or field to the graveyard, as opposed to these two just needing to meet a condition, and this last one sending an Xyz from the extra deck. That's pretty cool, right? Because we can send one of our, even outside of any other Xyz monster nonsense, we can send either Duo Drive or Dead Nator, and when it comes to attaching monsters with their effects on special summon, you just have a free Xyz monster in the graveyard. Also, the attach on these monsters... Oh, okay. Alright, hey, calm down, calm down. The attach on these monsters is on special summon, not Xyz summon. So if we bring them back with plugin, we get the attach from plugin, and then we also get the additional attach from their summon. So they are basically like... They're basically Xyz monsters that we can reborn and then use their material effects because they will have full materials. That is like the one thing that they never let Xyz monsters do. Their effects are wild. If Dead Nator is translated correctly, this is multiple pieces of destruction and protection. Well, now, the protection is limited to once per turn, so it's not like Dingirsu in that regard. But this one can just keep firing off interruptive blasts. This one is an outrageous searcher that lets you use any other rank 4 cards that have been created over the years. There's tons of them. Some of them are pyro, so bonfire works if you're shilling out for that. Fire Thunder. There's been some Fire Thunder cards. Oh, now I'm the one knocking around the mic. In the Animation Chronicles, I'd love to double check and see what kind of stuff those things do. But aside from that, we're looking at a very solid rank 4. Like, they want to just do the rank 4 toolbox even better. So we're not making Lightning Chidori because that's too specific, but we have our Sky Blaster Musketeers. We have our 101s. If there's room for reptile stuff, we can play King of the Feral Imps. They made a King of the Feral Imps for Pyros, Infernal Flame Banshee, I think it is. And these are Pyros, so you can run that. That's a rank 4 that you can make with that. Now, I don't know if this is going to be outrageously powerful, But this does look like it has the tools it needs to stand on its own against a lot of decks. I would keep an eye on this. I would definitely keep an eye on this one. These cards have a lot of outrageous potential, and with Duo Drive effectively turning any 2 level 4 monsters into more Raiseols out of the deck, I wouldn't be surprised if that made this like a splashable engine in other decks that just have a bunch of level 4 monsters that want to utilize those cards in a way that, you know, like a way to raise their ceiling, right? Like at the end of their combo, you start summoning out Raiseols. Do these check? You can also you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. God, I love for the rest of the turn. It's so good. Yeah, this has the potential to be a really good pure deck. Also has the potential to be a really good inclusion in any level 4 centered decks that want to raise their ceiling. That's my evaluation of them, though. But I want to hear what you all have to say. Is there anything that I missed out on here? Is there anything that having level 4 light or fire monsters enables in the Xyz pool that I missed out on? Are the utopic monsters worth playing in here? And when are we going to get Yuma in on this action? I don't know. And frankly, I don't care, because I think Yuma is really good and they put in the work, and I don't think they need to be subjecting themselves to this kind of discussion anymore. Give them a rest. Yuma's done his job. And so have you. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. Make sure you hit that like, leave that comment, hit that subscribe button, all really easy ways to help out the channel. And I will see you next time they reveal something else from Crossover Breakers, or who knows, maybe they'll unleash more Memento cards, and I will be forced to talk about them because it is the Prog Pulls archetype. Don't worry that I didn't cover the sheep when it happened, and don't worry that I'm rambling. It's not that I'm tired. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.